All right, buddies. You know what time it is. Time to make that art. Got a good one for you today, nice and easy. This should be pretty quick. And just want to start out with a little announcement. You've likely gotten an email on this. If you haven't checked yet, go ahead and check for that. But for the next couple weeks at least, they're going to do like a little test pilot here. We're going to do Monday and Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday, as far as like blue-white days. So Monday will be a blue day, Tuesday will be a white day, Thursday will be a blue day, Friday will be a white day. Wednesday, that's when you catch up. If you're behind on anything, and yo, some of you are really behind, take advantage of that Wednesday class. There's not going to be any new content delivered by any of your teachers on that Wednesday. Okay, so we're gonna do that for 2 weeks, maybe longer. Man, hopefully this thing doesn't last too long. But let's get right into it. We've learned about the eyes, nose, mouth, ears, hair, and now it's time to put it all together. Now, I'm not going to have you guys do a self-portrait. I decided that we probably don't have like the best quality paper at home. Some of you might. But I want to give you all the information if you wanted to do a portrait. And still, I'm going to ask you to do something for me today. It's just drawing. It's line drawing. There's no shading. And today we're going to talk about the proportions of the face. Now, this is something that folks sometimes get horribly wrong, and their portraits look cartoonish, or they look kind of funky, or they look older than they're supposed to, or they look like way too young. And I'm going to try to... I came up with this kind of cool, I think easy to follow tutorial here. I'm going to try to get you guys to at least understand like how things are lined up in the face. You still have to draw all of your facial features as you see them, okay? Don't just do generic things. I want you to draw your eyes. I want you to draw your nose. But I don't want you to shade anything. So it's just going to be the line drawing part of those things. Basically the three lines that we do for all these things. Well, we're going to do that all together. Okay? So check it out. We're going to start by drawing a circle. All right? We practice this in class. Nice light lines until you feel like you have a good curve. And you can darken it. It's getting all blurry there. Hopefully you see that. There we go. All right. So we're starting with a circle. And I want you to go ahead and put a line going down the middle. And we're going to do a line going across. All right. Now I want you to look at this little bit of a segment here. From here to here. I want you to break this space into thirds, okay? You just kind of have to eye it, unless you're a perfectionist and you want to like measure it out and make it exact, but try to break it into 3 equal sections, okay? All right. On this first one, we're just going to draw a line going across. All right. Now this line that we just drew, that's the line that the eyes are going to go on. If that doesn't seem to make sense yet, you'll see in a sec. Now looking at the length of this line, which is shorter than the one above it, I want you to try to break this line into 5 equal parts. Now watch me. There's going to be 2 lines that I draw over here. There's going to be 2 lines that I draw over here. The middle space, I'm just going to try to guess that this is where it's going to be. The middle space is going to be, that's about even. Basically, it's going to be 2 even pieces here. This is the same size as this. And the middle space is about half that and then half that. So this makes whole fifth right there, okay? And there's another one, there's another one. Okay, so it's roughly, if you can, about 5 equal parts there. Now they say, we talked about how there's like basically the same space, you could fit another eye in between both eyes. They say the human head's about 5 eyes across. Okay, so that's why we broke that into fifths. Now this is where you're going to actually spend time and go ahead and draw those 3 lines for the eye, for each eye. And you'll have the challenge of trying to match that. But that's where one goes, and that's where the other goes. Okay. The bottom of the circle, that's going to be the bottom of the nose. Okay, so when you draw those lines for the nose, it goes right there. The sides of the nose tend to line up with the tear duct. Now oftentimes it'll go, I want to say into the eye a little bit, but it might not be the very corner of the eye. It might just come in a little bit. Okay, so if we look at that, this might come up to right around there. It is different on different folks. Some people have really thin nose. Some people's a little wider. Okay. Let's make this person look a little bit more alive. We'll put the iris in there. All right. Now, looking at this space here, from the eye to the bottom of the nose, what I want you to do, however far that is, go that same distance okay, go that same distance down here. That's going to be the bottom of the face. Okay, so that's like the chin. And then the mouth, continue that middle line down a bit. The mouth, we're going to put in here, I would say let's go ahead and break this up into thirds again. Or you know what? Let's just break it in half. That might be easier. And we'll call that the middle of the mouth. All right. The ears tend to fall around the eyebrow areas where they start, and they go down to about the nose. Now don't just draw my drawing, you should be looking at yourself for this. And the face shape, that one's going to be different on everyone. Now we have a chin, we have a jaw, and we have cheekbones. So looking at the changes in direction, it kind of goes up, and then it kind of goes out for that jaw, then it kind of comes up again. Okay, so that's a really dramatic version of that jaw. But that's kind of what it does, and it's going to be really subtle. It might just be like that, but it makes that movement. Okay. The neck tends to come in about here. And so really you can just look at like how far, what kind of gap there is from the ear to that. Some people, if it's a little wider, it might almost come up to the ear. A lot of people will do this. Don't do this. That's way too skinny. All right, and then the, oh, I didn't do the brows yet. This tends to be where the brows are. Now, this is just a kind of generic adult face. So you guys are not yet adults, most of you, and your faces still have some growing to do. And so what that means is as you get older, your facial features actually will kind of spread further apart. I know it sounds strange. If you look at like babies, their faces are set way really close together, all the facial features, and they're set really low on the head. Okay, so here's my baby. You can see that person looks really young because the eyes, nose, and mouth are all down here, and there's just that giant cranium. Okay, creepy looking baby. For your hair, really just look at the remaining space that you have. Now, I'm going to point out some cool things about the face, but look at how big you made things so far. Like, look at this size. Maybe that's the size that you have to come up before the hairline starts on you. Some people it might be higher. So just take a look. And because this is the top of the skull, your hair likely will come up higher than that circle, okay? All right, so let's take a look. This nice center line kept everything symmetrical. The nose, bottom of the nose, we're going to say that is halfway from this halfway line to the chin. Okay, as you can see. The eyes, a lot of people will draw, if they draw like a head, they'll put the eyes up here. The eyes, if you look at anyone, look at a photo yourself, whatever image you're drawing from, the eyes happen in the middle of the skull. Obviously, if you're younger, it happens just a little bit lower than the middle. But rarely will it happen anywhere up there. That would be very strange, and that's why those always look cartoonish when you put them up way too high, okay? So that space should be equal here and here. The corners of the mouth tend to line up with the inner part of the iris. That's the colored region. All right. And like I said, the sides of the nose, they tend to line up with the tear duct. There's also roughly, you can break this into thirds. There's a third here. There's another third here. There's another third here. This first one is like the hairline to the eyes on most folks. The second one is like the eyes to the bottom of the nose. And that sometimes can be in this in-between brow region. And the bottom one is the bottom of the nose to the chin, okay? That's that third one. So that should be broken into roughly thirds as well, okay? Now, because I was just drawing kind of generic stuff, and I think I made my mouth a little bit too low. I did that halfway point. I probably should have stuck with that third of the way. Probably be more accurate if it was a little bit more up here. I like that better. But that's roughly the proportions. Now today, what I expect you guys to turn in is basically a line drawing of your face. All right, it should look way better than this. It should take you, I would say, anywhere from a half hour to 40 minutes. If you really spend time on it, you could use the whole class period. But I want to give you a nice, relaxing, and nice, easy way to finish off our facial features unit, okay? Coming up next, we're going to keep learning about how to draw different things as real as possible. I know we were kind of getting away from our drawing unit with our enlargement paintings, and then we got back into it. I will give you guys a longer term assignment that will kind of cater to those folks who have a bunch of art supplies at home and really anxious to dig into some of those things and do some color and whatnot. But I do have to be mindful that some folks just have a pencil and paper. So that's why we're spending so much time drawing. I appreciate your guys' patience, your dedication, your good work, and keep it going, okay? I'm excited to see what you come up with. Have a good one.